Hi guys and welcome to Angling For You. Today you join me for another lockdown video and we're on the deck as always, and this one's a little bit different. Maybe some of you will have seen it, maybe some of you won't have seen it, and it's a little bit about how little tips we can give to attack those really delicate bites, and we can hit those really fast bites that we seem to get off F1s or smaller fish in the colder months. But obviously F1s, they're notorious. Sometimes when you're fishing shallow, you don't even need to look at your float, but sometimes when the weather's a little bit funny, there can be really delicate bites. So I've tied up a little rig. It's not really a rig that you'd ever fish with. It's simply just a piece of line with the weight at the bottom of the float to enable us to place it into the water so we can see what's going on. And the little thing that I've got, and the little sort of secret army, is bristle grease, and we're going to go a little bit more into that when I zoom into this camera. So I've got one of the sort of F1 style wire stem floats from ProGen, and we're going to get that close to the water. We'll zoom in the camera and we'll have a little go through and explain on these how that works. Little snips where I'm not in camera. I'm just going to get my hands going and explain to you what's going on. So like I said, we've made this really simple rig, and effectively if you want to have a little practice at home, what it is just a piece of line. I've put all the shot bulked up. That's as far as the line goes, and no hook or anything on there. And just to give you an idea of how to play with it, obviously when you've got your hook on it and your bait, it will bring different weight, so you need to practice that in the water before adding your grease with your shotting. So what I'm going to do is just drop that into the water, and as you can see, the float has completely gone underneath the water. It's broke the tension of the water, and it's probably a couple of mil under the surface. Now what we're going to do today is show you how to use this bristle grease. Now the reason we do this is very, very simple. We want to hit those fast bites. So it's already shotted over where it should be, so obviously that's why it's breaking the tension. So the slightest touch on that float, once we've put the grease on, is going to rocket that float under the tiniest of bites. So you'll see those bites so much quicker and be able to react to them. To recent memory, I remember fishing a Members Day match at Benny's at Lindholm, and it was around September time. The shallow business were more or less over, and I'd got quite a few F1s settled in my peg, and I just couldn't hit the bites. They were spitting it in and spitting it back out, and I was seeing the bite when they were spitting it out, even though I was really happy with the rig. And all I did is slightly overshotted it and added this bristle grease, which we're going to talk about in a second, and added a little bit of this, and we were absolutely away. And we did really well in the match. Right guys, so you've obviously seen the bristle grease, and once we have that, like I say, that little bit of bristle grease on there, it just works really well in putting that sort of little bit of a barrier. Make sure the tip of your float's dry first, and you just want the very tip of your float, a little bit of grease on there, and just dab it off if there's too much on there, and you're just wanting it obviously to break that surface tension. And I put it under, and you can see there that little bit of grease is just holding it nice, absolutely perfect. And if you're going to get a fast bite, it's going to take that under really quickly. So the overshotting has obviously allowed that it's overshotted, and the only thing that's holding that float up is not the buoyancy of the float itself, is just that tiny little bit of grease. So the slightest touch that you get on that float, it's going to wham it under, and you're going to be you've got a lot bigger chance of catching fish, and especially when you're fishing and it's harder and the months are colder. It allows you to hit those more hesitant bites. Really good when you're fishing for skimmers and things like that, as well as F1s and small silvers. Let's get back onto main camera. Alright guys, so hopefully that were a little helpful tip. It's only a nice quick short video. It's something I use quite frequently. Works really well, a lot of good results with it. And yes, you can dot your float right down and, you know, use shotting and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes I feel that the bristle grease just gives it that little bit of an edge when hitting those really finicky bites and quick bites. It's usually something I'd use with a method when I'm fishing on the deck. It's not something I'd hold in if I'm fishing shallow or anything like that. You don't really need it for that kind of stuff. It's like for deck rigs basically that you're fishing on the bottom, and at the end of the day, you know, you will get the people that say, oh, you just shot it perfectly and it'll be fine. Yeah, I agree with that, but at the end of the day, they make bristle grease for a reason. This is the reason that I'm explaining it to you. Otherwise this product wouldn't exist itself. So I thought I'd share my little bit of knowledge on that, and you can use it or not in how you want to apply it, but good thing to have in your bag to apply if needed. And you know, just one of those other little things that you can help. Some people do it to do floating line and rub bristle grease on floating line for sections of floating line when they're doing certain things, you know, from the pole tip and things like that. But you know, I don't do that. I just use it for the tip of the pole float itself, and I've had really good results with it. So thanks as always, guys, for watching and joining in. Hope everyone's safe and doing well under lockdown. Join us on the Facebook group Angling For You. We run in a live stream every Friday until further notice, and that's at 7 p.m. on there. So if you join on, you can ask questions, join in on the group, have a little bit of laugh and a joke with us on the Friday night, and then we jump onto Instagram at angling_for_you at 8 o'clock for the second live stream. For similar, if you're not on Facebook, you can join us on the Instagram at angling_for_you to join that at 8 o'clock on Fridays, and we do the same sort of live streaming again, questions and answers, and just generalised chatting about how things are going on. So feel free to join us on that. Thanks a lot. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tight lines.